Hello, dear friends. Welcome to Kardec Radio. We were here to nourish our souls. I'm Norah, the host of this program. Thoughts by Joanna de Angelis and Divaldo Franco through this amazing book. We are in the third part, and all these messages are about trusting in God. What a perfect message today, friends. We're going to be talking of time. Have we ever looked at the clock and thought, how is it this late already? Or if I could go back in time, I would do something completely different. The truth is that the hands of time may return to the same position. At 3 o'clock today might be different than at 3 o'clock tomorrow, right? But in today's message, I'm going to be asking myself, so what do I do with that time when I have those feelings? And it's not so far. Today, the news are going crazy. If we could only go back in time, maybe that's what we all think. But we're going to see that time is really of essence for our growth and development. So let us get into today's message. It says, the moving hands of the clock always return to the same spots. However, they no longer bring back the time that has passed. That is Joanna and Divaldo's message for us. So in essence, when we see it, we wake up every day. We wake up 6 a.m., then it's 12, then it's 5, then it's 10, right? So we go through these numbers that repeat and repeat, but as we know, the moments do not. Each hour is very unique and each second is unrepeatable. Time, maybe we can see like this, it doesn't go in circles, but it's almost like in spirals, carrying us forward with each revolution. And while we might long to redo a past moment, life gently reminds us what we do now is what shapes what comes next. So even in today's time, we might all want to go back in time, and there's nothing we can do now. What's done is done. However, the choices that we make today with our time is what's going to shape what comes tomorrow, right? So, and even outside of the news and the collective, we've all had opportunities that we wish we could go back in time, right? Moments like, oh man, I should have said that. I should have given that last hug. I should have taken that risk. And no matter how many times the clock strikes 3, right? Over and over, 3 is gone for that moment. And that's okay, because the gift of time, friends, isn't not what we lost, but instead it's what we learned through that, right? And how we choose to live with more purpose from now on. Now, it's so interesting because time for us in the material, in the body, is different than spirits. Therefore, we can see that we do need to experience time in this form for a reason. So where does that say? In the Spirit's Book, question 240, Kardec asks, do spirits perceive time as we do? And the spirits answer, no. And that is what makes you not always understand, right? The lifespans that are so long in spirit form, spirits live outside the idea of time as you know it. So the length of time of events, which may appear long, is nothing for spirits. So forth, right? So we see again, Spiritism reminds us that perception of time, it is limited by our physical state. In spirit form, we probably have more of an advantage, depending on our evolution, to value time, right? And sometimes we don't see it as fast or slow. But in this stage of us being human, we're going to have to kind of see it in the sense that time passing on is for a purpose of growth, and it offers us something unique at each stage of our journey. That's the way we see it. So yes, sometimes we long, right, moments to see time differently, or we wanted, and I know the last message we talked, I wanted time to go faster, or sometimes we just wanted to slow down. So now we're saying, well, whether time is whatever perception, it's going to offer us growth. Now, sometimes we do miss opportunities. And let us think about this in the Bible, the parable of the 10 virgins, there in the Bible, chapter 25, right? So they were waiting for the bridegroom. 5 brought the extra olive oil for the lamps, and 5 simply didn't. Well, when the bridegroom arrives, the ones that didn't have enough the extra olive oil, they had to go run out, right? And the ones that planned ahead were there on time. So when they come back, They said, Lord, Lord, open the door for us. And the response was, truly, I tell you, I don't know you. Now, this story is kind of reminding us that some opportunities, they cannot wait. They don't wait. But we can rewind them to do anything differently. While the virgins, they all had the same time, the ones that were wise, that thought ahead of time, right? They used that time with preparation and purpose. And just like the hands of a clock, we cannot go back, but we can live now in readiness, love, and trust in God's timing, just like those 5 wise virgins, right? But in Spiritism, we do know that if we are on the other side, because we are human, we have grace, we have redemption, we have forgiveness. We can always redo so we can learn. Now, sometimes we are tempted to replay the past over and over, but let us remember that God doesn't ask us to go back there, right? If anything, He calls us to move forward with Him. So, while time doesn't rewind, grace renews all the time for Him. And there we see God's love, right? So, let's do a visualization. And let us imagine that we're seeing like with the old clocks, friends, right? The ones with the hands. And we see the hand go from 3, 6, 9, 12. And each time the hand moves, we take a couple of deep breaths. One more time. One last breath. Now, dear friends, let us remind ourselves that as we see those hands that time moving, we will use our time today, right now, with love, purpose, right, and compassion, friends. And of course, always, always trusting God. So let us remember, friends, clock will return to the same spot, but it will not be the same moment. And that is a good thing. So let's treat time as a sacred invitation, not a deadline. Because when we trust in God's timing, we stop clinging to the past and we start to create a future. And that message is so important today, because the only thing we can hold on to is this present, what we're doing now, to be able to move forward. That's beautiful. That's love. That's grace, right? So friends, that is today's message. Let us tune into other programs here at Kardec Radio, where we're always nourishing our souls. And let us remember always that we are loved. Until next week, same place, same time. Bye, friends.